Hello everybody, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. A little bit, how do I say, with yesterday, I don't want to say chaotic, but, well, I guess it is what it is, emotional. Uh, got a lot of triggers. I've been kind of dealing with some triggers over the last few days, and then yesterday, that was it. Just all came out and so forth. And then this morning, actually, I just got done watching Deborah with her live, and I was able to get on the list this morning and basically kind of asking about it, and it's funny. I guess they're getting some storms out there, and it was funny because she, just before she was going to start doing, there was this loud rolling of thunder. And she even commented, like a couple readings in, it's weird that no more thunder. So, kind of, yeah, it's, like she had said when it happened, oh, wake up call. So, yeah, I get it. I really got the message, and what's been really coming out for me too with my own reading that I did here recently. So, and I woke up this morning, it was about just before 3:30, something like that, and things were just rolling over in my head and so forth. It's like things were being triggered, basically all that trauma that I've been through, especially over the last year, really since last summer, all that, 'cause it's all still fresh in my mind. That's the thing. And especially with things that happened, really not even a couple months ago now. Of course, all that is still fresh in my mind as well, and it's just all being with what's coming out and so forth, with what's going on and everything. It's yeah, it's definitely bringing out some trauma at the same time, while I'm trying to take care of things. Say, hi, yeah, this one here, I was feeling her around her chin and her neck, and she is just tearing herself apart. Mm-hmm. She's got a lot of scabs up underneath there. She's just tearing herself apart. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And of course, it doesn't help with me being under stress or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I just I needed to distance myself from people, and my friends are great. Please don't take anything the wrong way. They are really, really great. But it was like, yesterday I felt like I was just being bombarded from different directions about things that, the stuff that is going on in my head, and then I'm getting hit, but in a way it doesn't surprise me because Mercury going retrograde. But it all just wound up compounding, and I'm like, I just need to walk away. And yeah, I did some crying and this and that and everything, and I realized, that I'm being triggered. Best thing for me to do is to walk away, but I needed opportunity to just sort things out, hash things out with what's going on in my brain and everything, because I'll admit I've been questioning, oh gosh, am I making, right decisions or this or that and everything, and I needed to hash some of that out. And with going back and really looking at the last 3 weeks with everything that's happened and so forth, no matter how I spun it, I actually have made the right decision. Just looking, as they always say, hindsight is 20/20, but I needed to look at that from a logical perspective, analytical. That's the word I'm trying to think of, analytical perspective, and just be like, okay, let me just look at this. Let me, try and play out all these scenarios from different directions and so forth, and see if, let's face it, my brain really hasn't been all that terribly well all this time with trying to rest and recuperate from everything. And I'm just like, throughout it all, even though I was dealing with all sorts of brain fog and, and so on and so forth, it's like, no, I did make the right decision. So that felt good. And that's basically what it boiled down to. In some ways, yeah, with going to Devra, with that mini live, with the mini reading, excuse me, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. With the thunderstorm, and then the one card that had come out in my last reading is the Panther Spirit, the Black Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. And that card has just been coming out at me like crazy. So I know what I need to do. And everything. So, but, that's the thing a lot of times people don't realize. It isn't just about the physical healing. It's also about, the psychological and spiritual as well. And that's, in many ways, is what I'm going through it too. Because, unfortunately, people weren't very understanding. Haven't been very understanding with what I've been going through and so forth. So, and I got hit pretty hard with that trauma from people, especially people who, on the one hand, are telling me, that they love me, but then turn right around and turn their backs on me, And those cuts hit the hardest. Let's face it. Those cuts they really do hit the hardest. They cut the deepest, and it takes time to heal those wounds. So, but yeah. Good news yesterday. I made my calls. I left a message with Lowe's. Excuse me. Didn't hear anything back from him, but I did hear back from Home Depot. And looks like I have a job. So, yay. I go in on Monday. Scheduled it for 4 o'clock to see about doing the background check, and I'm sure I'll probably have to do a drug test as well. No big deal on either of those unless I committed a murder in the last 3 weeks that I don't know about. But yeah, that won't be a problem. And with like Uber, DoorDash, they do those background checks every year. It isn't just an initial that you have to go through. You have to do those every year. They're just locals anyway. It isn't like a state or federal where they have to do your fingerprints, unless they require it, but I seriously doubt it. But if they do, no big deal. It's like, I know the FBI has my fingerprints, so okay, fine. But, things I've applied to in the past at Las Vegas cab drivers, we all have to be fingerprinted. And, well, that's the way I look at it with the state. This would be the first time the state of Minnesota gets my fingerprints. Those ones usually don't take as long anyway. So, but, anywho, yeah, this one here has been playing like crazy too. She's been very bitey with me, which I don't mind. I'd much rather her bite me than herself. I know. She's just been driving me nuts with all her scratching. Not too sure. But, anywho, yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting a job, get some money. I can get some essential oils, start spraying those. That will definitely help with her situation. So, positivity, moving forward. Of course, we're all going to have those setbacks. We're all going to have those relapses. And it's okay. Just take it in stride, Let yourself feel. That's one of the posts that I've seen that's been, that has kind of made its way around social media a little bit, is that It's okay to feel the feels. It's actually good to feel the feels. Healing isn't just about mending, it's also about feeling the feels. So, yeah, it's very, very important to let yourself actually go through that process. And because that's where the healing happens. So, but, and unfortunately, like the situation with my father, those wounds are going to cut the deepest because, let's face it, he's the closest relative. And we rely on our parents for support, not just necessarily financial or what have you, or even, congratulations during the good times or whatever, but somebody to lean on, when things get tough, somebody that you can have a shoulder to cry on or what have you. And unfortunately, when that isn't around, because they can't handle life, real life, it is what it is. You just have to accept it, So, and unfortunately, like when my parents were still together and everything, and when my mom wasn't able to take care of things, the responsibility wound up falling to me. So again, I had to grow up really fast. Always had to grow up fast. I'm the one who had to be strong, and when, like, the times when my mom was in the hospital having things taken care of or what have you, she had to be strong for me when she should have been able to lean on my father, but not able to because he couldn't handle it. And unfortunately, it wound up happening with me as well. So that's why, and unfortunately, that's why I was saying with one of my previous videos, I've always been having to be the one who's had to be the strong one, and then when the strong one can't handle it anymore, that's when shit hits the fan and things fall apart. And that's what I've had to come to realize. So, and I'm having to partly, I want to say, rely on myself. Actually, I am having to rely on myself. I'm having to rely on my own strength as far as my faith is concerned. Let's put it that way. My own strength in the faith that there is something else that is greater than us on the other side that we can lean on when things here in the 3D fail. So, and that's where my spirituality, that's where my journey has been taking me over these last several years, and it makes sense with like where with some of my placements are in my birth chart, with what I have to work on with this leg of my soul's journey. So, because some of my placements are about trust and building that trust and that faith, and to be exploring my spirituality and to be diving into that more. So, and that's been important. It's been very important to me. Yeah, isn't that right? My little silly girl. She has just been so silly this morning. Yeah, she was very worried about her mommy. Basically having a nervous breakdown yesterday. But she's much better. If anything, she's being a little Miss Sassy Butt. I'm tickling her tummy right now, and she's like, how dare you? But oh, she's loving it. Mm-hmm. Silly girl. Oh, such a silly girl. such a silly, silly girl. Mm-hmm. Silly girl. Silly girl. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, looks like we're moving forward with Home Depot, which is awesome. A little bit more money. And, hi, there she is. Say hi. Oh. She's a silly. I know. When she wants to be, she could be a silly. Isn't that right? Should we say hi? She's like, hold on. Let me move my hands here a minute. Say hi. Oh. Yeah, say hi. She's so precious. My precious girl. It's the possum hour. She's like, why do you do that song every time? Because that person was very famous. Mm-hmm. Just like you. My apologies to Johnny Carson. I know he's gone. But any copyright holders, my apologies. I know. She's just so precious. She's such a precious girl. Such a precious baby. But yeah, not so much on this side. But this side, oh, she's got so much. She has torn herself up. Especially back here. Behind her ear. You can tell she's just, oh, mommy. And then up in here a little bit, yeah. I know if they could talk to you, I'll tell you. Stop tearing yourself up. Oh, yep, I hit the spot, didn't I? Mm-hmm. They'd all tell you. Stop tearing yourself up. Hate to see you tear up your pretty face. But we get it. It's nerves. Until things calm down. Yeah. But with going through this, ooh, hair's funky. I'll be able to start applying for some other things, excuse me, like Section 8 vouchers and so on and so forth. At least with the, having a job out. No, don't scratch. No scratchy. I'll be able, I know where I'm landing. And I was even talking to the social worker yesterday, and she's like, oh, you should be applying for this or that. And I'm just like, well, especially, she's scratching, especially, like the housing program. And I'm like, well, that's the problem, okay? If I start working with them, I'm in the process of trying to get a job right now. If I wind up having to, if the only thing that's available is someplace that's on the other side of town, how am I going to get to work? So we need to start with the job first, So, and this is what I'm trying to get some people to understand, and it's like, we need. I knew I was making progress with the job situation. I knew that, but now I feel a lot more secure, comfortable with, like giving up my food stamps in Nevada and see about getting it transferred over to here. I feel more comfortable with, proceeding with those government agencies, because I didn't, on the one hand, I didn't want to be giving up anything out there, like my license and so forth, because if things weren't working out here, I still had that fallback. I'm trying to play things safe instead of diving into things, because I didn't want to be doing that. I've done that, and I did do that 3 weeks ago with taking a chance of coming out here. And I don't know, I guess I'm just getting to a point in my life where I'm trying to be more cautious, because obviously risk isn't really getting me anywhere. Oops, sorry. I had a little possum hair that was really irritating. It just kept sitting there floating, fluttering or whatever. So, but that's okay, it's all right. Um, it's all right. I know she keeps wanting to attack me. I'm gonna get her foot. She's like, no, don't get my foot. And then she does the kicking thing, that cats do. She's like, oh, how dare you. She's got that look on her face. I really do need to trim her back nails. Yeah, she's silly. So yeah, I can see about starting to do all of that. I realized that as far as of course I don't want to jump just yet until until she really took a bite out of me. She's been feisty this morning. But anyway, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take that deep dive until I have that actual job offer, until I actually start. Because who knows, something could come back on my background, how things happen sometimes, even though I haven't had anything happen or anything, but you never know, especially with Mercury being in retrograde, how that can happen. Lines get crossed sometimes. I might have to straighten something out. Be like, no, that isn't this Valerie Bliss. There's another Valerie Bliss out there who is a total nut job. Aside from this one. Hey, I know I am. But, I'm wanting to take things more cautious in life. I've lived that rat race. I've lived that. And it's like, no. That's why I keep saying, I'm looking for more settled, I try to take things more cautious with, I thought about things long and hard before making this jump even. So, but anywho, yeah, that's kind of what I have for everybody today. Oh, that's what I was going to mention also. The reason why I was bringing up it with the fact that I had braces yesterday, it's because, like with my smile or what have you, I know everybody's always commenting about, oh, it has such a beautiful smile and this and that and everything, but unfortunately, but then I just tell people, yeah, look inside my mouth. The reason why I say that is because back here on both sides, because of the work that I had done with my braces, I don't have any back molars. So, yeah, basically, and that's something that my orthodontist had warned us about when I was going through that process, or even before I had braces, because of the work that he was going to be having to do. It was going to be putting a lot of strain on those molars, especially on the bottoms, and I probably would wind up losing them later on in life. And sure enough, I did. And of course, I tried explaining that to dentists, and they were just like, oh no, that's not the reason why. It's because you didn't take care of your teeth. No, I always have taken care of my teeth. No scratchy. So, yeah, I actually had one dentist who made that statement to me, and I'm just like, no, ego, basically, is what it boils down to. So, and that's something that I'll admit that I'm struggling with, is with I've had a lot of toxic people surrounding me throughout my life, and I just didn't understand any of that until I started going down the spiritual journey. And now I understand it. Now I see it. And it's like, holy cow. It's been my whole life, because I've had friends or whatever who have had, like beautiful families and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't believe it. Any of that. Because the way I was raised, it's always been a lot of toxicity in my life. And even like with friends that I've had and so forth. people who have kind of been closest to me, I've had a tendency to surround myself with people who are toxic. But I also have come to realize that it's not my fault. It's because of how I was raised, the environment that I was raised in. My mom did what she could, but there were times when she could also be toxic. And yeah, we were very close, her and I. In many ways, we were like sisters. But there were times when she could have some toxic behavior, and that was very hurtful. And I'd be blamed for things that's not what was said or done or whatever, you know? So I've kind of taken that as, and I'll admit that was something that I was struggling with last night again, not trusting people. Can't rely on anybody but yourself, basically. And in some ways that is true. But it's going to take a lot for me to trust people. And we'll go from there. Not right. Sigh of relief finally. Good. You need to relax. You need to relax. She just did a huge sigh of relief. It's like, finally. Goofy. So, anywho, I think that's everything that I wanted to make sure I got out. I think so. You know, she's just looking, she has this look on her face like, So, anywho, I'll keep you posted with everything that happens and so forth, of course, as always. And yeah, with the crying and so forth that I did yesterday, yeah, that definitely flared up the muscles a little bit in here. But we'll get through it. You know, it'll mend, it'll heal. I'll see about doing my yoga and go for my walk today. It'll probably help quite a bit. I need to be out there with nature more, be with my nature spirits. And I know I feel a little lost because I'm not close to my spirit animals anymore. But new ones will be revealed to me. That's the way I look at it. And when the hummingbird comes around, I'll know that it's time. Hummingbirds have always been one of my signs to let me know spirit is around or somebody is around. So we'll get some new signs. Some of them have been there and everything. Of course, they'll still come out in the cards when they need to. But yeah, I'll be learning some new ones. Yeah, right. She's just giving me a squinty eyes like, yeah, whatever, Mom. Anyway, I better let you go so I can do what I need to do. It's after 10 o'clock. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. Love you.